We have Gus and Andrea playing in this game. Gus will be playing red, and Andrea will be playing blue. This is an open division semifinal game. Open division means that they do not necessarily have cerebral palsy, but they do not fit in the bocce classes between 1 and 5. So they are allowed to play up to the provincial level, but not beyond that. So we're able to have them at events here in Ontario, and just not any national level like national championships or things like that. So yeah. Kevin Shaw is our official. Kevin was a BC3 athlete who competed when I competed in the early 2000s. So he's now turned to be an official, and I've turned to be behind the mic. So Andrea misses her first ball. The ball is the red ball is right beside it. The jack is exposed. I think she's trying to separate the jack from the white ball.
That's what happened. I didn't have my pointer out.
I have my assistant sitting next to me, and she has one of those school pointers, and she wants to draw in. Well, I didn't want to say, Catherine, that it was a crochet hook, but if you insist, she has a crochet hook with her. Blues to play still. Andrea is beginning to try to play a little bit of defense here, I think. All the while, if she scores too, it's not going to be bad either. You can see that she's kind of pushed everything closer for the blue balls, so it's going to make Gus have a bit of a challenge, and there we go again. She puts a blue ball in front, and we'll see how Gus manages this. This is just having a look to see what the position is. Be interesting to see what kind of risk he takes here in the first end. See if he can score more points, or if he decides that that's it. So he's signified that he's finished throwing. He was confirming that he had won, and Kevin will also collaborate that. Oh. Looked like he made the signal that he was finished, but now he's required a measurement. Okay, not really sure what's going on here. Okay, it is one red. He's declared it's one red and the end is over.
Did you explain why he has that person there? Why can't you choose that person color?
So, in case you're wondering, Kevin Shaw is the official, but there are things that Kevin is unable to physically do, like measure balls and get down to the floor, so he uses an assistant to operate those tasks or carry out those tasks. But he is the official, and any decision that is made by the official will fall on Kevin. The assistant is purely just there to be his hands and feet, and yeah. We're just waiting for the 1 minute to elapse in the break. And then Andrea will commence with the jack for the second end. The jack has been placed about 4 meters in length off to the side. Yes, placed a good first ball. I think it's partially blocking Gus. We'll see how he manages this. As you can see, the assistant for Kevin is standing still. She's not weighing in with her thoughts. She's just purely there with what Kevin might need as assistance. And the red snuck in and right onto the jack, so that's a perfect ball, and it's gotta be very tough for Andrea to get in here. She'll have to use some power to move things around. Normally you would see officials using paddles. I think for Kevin it's a little bit physically hard, so he's verbalizing who is to play, but I do see hand motions, so I'm not. he has different color sleeves on. So on one hand, one arm, if you will, he's got red, and the other arm he's got blue, and that's what he's using to signify who's closer. So it's a very intuitive and accessible way to make this happen for him. Gus is in the driver's seat of this end, but Andrea has definitely placed some good defense. The challenge is that this is her end with her jack, so she would have wanted to score, but she doesn't want to give up a big end either. Gus almost had the climb effect there with his ball. Didn't quite make it over the top. He's pushed it through though, so I think it's still just one for red at this moment. If the ball actually had landed on top and it was touching the white ball, then it would count as a point. But it's very rare that you would see a ball on top of the white ball at this level, but it is possible. And okay, bye. My dad is behind the court and teasing me a little bit. My dad is here as a referee, but he's also a Paralympic coach that will be going to Paris soon as well. And because my dad was behind me, I'm not entirely sure if it was one for red or two, but I'm pretty certain it was just one, which would make the score 2-0 for Gus. Heading into end number 3 of this Open Division semifinal. Doesn't take very long for the balls to come back to these athletes. It's not like the BC 1s through 4s where it takes a little bit of time, so that's why the 1 minute between the ends break feels a bit longer. It looks like we're ready to get things going. It's actually impressive to see that they've made refereeing accessible for people that have disabilities and may have been playing this game. Sometimes you don't want to let go of the game entirely as fully retiring, but you want to let go of it as an athlete, and you want to be a part of it. So that's the reason I'm here, to be quite honest with you, because I don't want to leave the game, but I want to be still involved. I think Kevin's in the same boat. We have the jack ball placed, and there is a very good ball. Looks like there's some space between the red and the white, but not very much, and it's blocking the white ball pretty well.
For those of you listening, please tell us where you're watching from. Do you have any questions, comments?
For anyone listening, let us know where you're watching from or listening from, and you got any questions, comments, chime in. Red to play, so Andrea has successfully got between the red and the jack, and she's closer. I'm looking at the same angle as you guys out there, so sometimes I can't exactly see what's going on the court. But, I can also turn my head and have a different angle to see a little bit of what's going on. Andrea's to play here. Looks like if she nestles up against the red ball on the right hand side, she'd be pretty close to scoring. That's exactly what she tried. I don't think she accomplished that though, so she'll have to try it again. Referee has called for a measurement, so Kevin's assistant will go get the appropriate equipment to carry out the measurement. Like I said earlier, even if the assistant thinks she knows who might be closer, her task is to carry out the measurement, because Kevin is the official. Determine that red is still closer, so blue is to play. That same area that I was talking about before is still accessible, so, and she did exactly that, and so red will play. Red has I love that the two athletes just gave each other props for a good shot. You don't see that too often. I love that we witnessed that. It's all about good sportsmanship, and love to see that. ball out is what Kevin has indicated. So the referee's assistant went over to retrieve the ball. Blues to play. There's lots of balls in a cluster, so it's going to be a pretty small score. Blues really made it tough to score another point. Interesting that Gus has elected to still play. He must feel there's a opportunity to score multiple here. The athletes are having a conversation, and the score is 1 red. Score is 1 for red, which makes the score 3-0 after 3 ends of play. Still potential for Andrea to come back, but she would have to score 50% of her balls to tie. So it is going to be a challenge, but never say never. we'll have one more set of games for this Ontario Boccia Championships for 2024 here in Kingston, and then our closing ceremonies will be broadcasted as well, but I will not have a specific mic, I don't think, for that particular thing. You will be hearing me over the PA system here at the venue, and that will be how you will hear who gets the medals. But if it's not clear, you can scan the QR code for live results that you will get up between this end, the end of this game and the next match. Fourth end here between Andrea and Gus. We'll see what Andrea decides to do with the jack, and I figured she would go a bit longer. She's probably 6 meters to 7 meters in length down the court. So we'll see how well she does with that. And she gets a ball within maybe a ball and a half length off to the left hand side. However, it does leave some opening for Gus to take control of the jack, and if he does that, then it could be tough for Andrea to get in there for points. The benefit like this, when the jack is open, you have an opportunity to continue to try to get closer until you succeed within your 6 balls, and your opponent can't do much. So even if Gus is not close enough, he'll have another opportunity to achieve the jack, and he's not, so he'll go again. He's used 3 balls and been unable to get closer to the jack. Four now, but that last one he's created a little bit of a wall for Andrea. Red to play his last ball. Interesting to see what happens now, because Red is out of balls and Andrea has an opportunity to score some points. This would make the score 3-1 with the ball that's on the floor and scoring. So we'll see if she can add 2 more to tie and possibly 3 to win. Right idea, just not enough power. She nudged her second blue ball a bit more forward. I'm not sure if she's scoring or not with the second one. I don't think so. She certainly is scoring with that one. So it's now for sure 3-2. We'll see if she can achieve another point for a tie. That But she's pushed some balls forward, so that might have negated her second point. We'll see. And she goes to the hole. She's at least got 2, I would think. The 2 athletes are exchanging in a hug, which is nice. 2 for blue, I think, is what Kevin has suggested. So that would make the final score, or make the score 3-3 after the 4 ends. So we'll see now who will take it in the overtime. So what happens now is Kevin and his assistant will come forward when everybody collects their balls. They will do a coin toss. From that, they will determine who goes first and second, and whose jack is on the X. Terribly sorry that I sneezed. I could not have told somebody fast enough that I had to sneeze. It just happens. And so if I scared people out there, I'm really sorry. Can imagine how that came over on the microphone. There's a discussion going on between Rob and head referee Rob and Kevin. Rob might actually pass it on to me, but we'll see. Seems to be a lengthy discussion. I'm not too sure why. The score is 3-3, which would tell me that we're going into overtime. This is a semi-final matchup, so we need a winner. Rob seems to have left the building, so we're gonna move on. And I joke when I say Rob left the building. He didn't actually leave the building, but he left the court. So the athletes don't seem to be bothered by the delay. If you're watching and you want to let us know that you're watching and where you're watching from, please do. So we are doing a coin toss. Okay, so because Gus called it in the call room, then Andrea has to call it here on the floor for overtime. And Andrea really wanted to give the coin toss decision to Gus, and the referee indicated that no, she needs to call the coin toss. Gus has won the coin toss, and We're getting Rob again. I'm not so sure what the conversations have been headed into this overtime. Seemed pretty straightforward that we were going into overtime, and Gus had the option to go first or second, and here we are. Okay, so I think the discussion is that if you win the coin toss, you have to go first. From what I can glean from what I heard from Rob and Kevin, you used to be able to decide who would go first, but I think if you win the coin toss, it's an automatic, you have to go first. I think these two athletes are very much friends with each other, so they're trying to be nice and polite, and it's not necessarily working out for them in their favor. But I can appreciate good sportsmanship for sure. Score is 3-3, and it appears that Andrea will go first, so she did win the coin toss. And it's a pretty good first ball. It's a little bit in Gus's line of sight to the jack, but there is space on the left or right to go by, so we'll see how many balls it might take him to obtain possession of the jack. In fact, Gus hit into the original blue ball that was placed. So we'll see if that's going to cause more of a hindrance for him or not. Looks like blue is still closer. Gus believes that to be true. We'll just wait to see whether Kevin also concurs to that. Wait for the signal from Kevin. It's red to play. Must have missed the signal from Kevin the last time. Gus believes he's still to throw because he's lining up his shot, and sometimes as an athlete you just have a feeling. So. He's asked for a measure from his assistant. So she'll go back over to the table, grab the equipment needed, and we'll see what she's asking which ball to measure, which is actually a good thing because she should almost be impartial to what's going on. That way then she can't give her own influence on the game and leave it to Kevin to decide what's going on. It is blue to play. So red was able to get closer. I think blue is pretty happy with that outcome because the red ball that was placed there is kind of used as a goalpost and she can kind of go between it and score. So I don't imagine Gus is too thrilled that he's closer with that last attempt. And exactly as I thought, she would use the last ball placed there, and she did. And now there's a blue ball on to the jack, and Gus would have some challenges to see that. I've been wondering, probably like you guys on the feed, who Andrea is looking at in the audience, and I think there's some family in the crowd because so I think there's some audience members or family in the crowd that she's looking. Oh, nice shot by red there as well. If I was to guess, blue would be playing. Red to play, which is an interesting call. Obviously red agrees now. Maybe not. I seem to be a little bit displeased with Kevin there. Incredible effort. He did, for lack of a better word, he did jiggle the pile, so we don't know, but shifted things around that we need a measure. Rob is G.I. Joeing across the camera. I think he's anticipating maybe... Nope, I thought he was anticipating a measurement. We're 1-1. So what that means is we're going to another overtime. I did that in my career one time. Oh, does she? Interesting to see what she'll do there. I lost count of how many balls Blue has. She's got 4 balls. It would be risky to move things around. Even head referee Rob thought we were going into another. Very interesting that she's taking a chance here. Her opponent appears to be telling her what to do, which is fascinating. This is interesting development. Yeah, she is going to succumb to drop her balls and not play them. So if in fact it is 1-1, I must have saw the future. If in fact it is 1-1, then we would play another overtime end and start this process all over again. Like I said, in Portugal in 2010, I played a double overtime game at the provincial level. This is probably a very confusing process because it's not often seen that we have as tight of games as we do right now. So I would imagine they're going to call on Rob for some extra support. Rob is a provincial referee, a national referee, international referee. He is well aware of what's going on here, and so I would assume that Kevin and his assistant decided that they did not want to make the final call, and that's what the role of the head referee is to do. So if I can catch Rob on the way back, I will confirm that we are 1-1, and athletes are apologizing that this game is still tied. But it's great competitive game. Yeah, that's what I was. Rob has confirmed that it is a second tiebreaker, which means both the red and the blue were touching, and there's no such thing as one ball touching more than another. It's if a ball is making contact with the white ball and both colors are making contact of any kind, we go to a double overtime. So we'll do the coin flip again, we'll do the whole thing, although I think the reason she didn't play the 4 balls is because she was worried that if she jiggled the pile, she might have moved her own ball off the pile. So she decided I'll play another end entirely and take my chances. And when that happened to me in 2010 in Portugal, I made the same decision that I just didn't want to take a risk. And I remember all the referees in Portugal were like, what in the heck do we do now? Because it wasn't something that they had seen before. And so they didn't do a new coin flip. What they did was they just so Andrea went first last time, and so Red went first the second time. Since we have double overtime, let's see if we can maybe get to triple overtime in this. Yeah, it's only because both balls were touching, and there's no such thing as one ball touching more than another. So.
Not been on the base before. Where was it? Yeah, I love the crowd.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know where she's off to right now.
I'm here to the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very fascinating open division game, and usually they're the first ones off the court because they're so quick. But as I look around, I don't even see another game on. So as soon as this one's over, we'll be jumping into the next game. We're measuring because Kevin does not know who's closer.
Where I was just getting the exercise, didn't mind that at all.
There's if you go like walk here, you see where the openings are?
Yeah.
You're able to actually go into that opening.
I don't know if we know who our final game is of the day. I would preview it for you if I can find the information.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which you're more than welcome.
The only time I
Yeah, somebody just walking through, and we have our final game as Lisa Puri and David Lalonde in BC1, so that'll be our final game of Ontario Boccia Championships, and then we will have the middle cam. Rob is paying very close attention to the game we're watching and not paying attention to where the camera is located. That's okay, we give him a pass. He's got to deal with 6 games at the same time. So it seems to be a some kind of medical thing or equipment issue. So we'll be going on a maximum of a 10-minute break. I'm not going to sit here and talk for 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I will mute myself for the time being, and then when we get going, we'll come back. We appear to have the technical or medical situation sorted out. I'm not exactly sure which one, and I'm not going to speculate. We're back in the action of this double overtime game. Yes, you heard me right. This is a double overtime game. At the end of the first one, both the red and the blue were touching the jack, and so we elected to go for a second overtime rather than possibly risking the loss for Andrea and blue. Red is building themselves a interesting wall. They have at least 2 balls that would be okay to promote forward. The third one you see on your screen would be a challenge to promote. We don't know who's closer at this moment in time. Referee is measuring. And the call is, I believe, blue. Yeah, it is. Kevin was just waving his arm so that the timekeeper would get some attention. Andrea's probably pretty happy with this scenario. She went the other way, which I find to be interesting. Maybe she sees something different from her angle. I would have gone on the right hand side and between the red balls. She obviously has some different strategy. Maybe she's gonna ricochet. Oh, there we go. Now she won't be able to do that. Because if she does it again, she'll promote the red even closer. She might use the balls on the side to ricochet. Oh wow, nice shot. I just love the fact that the two athletes are giving each other props as things proceed there. It's a wonderful ball. And Andrea obviously has family and friends up in the crowd because it was quite the applaud coming from behind me when that ball was successfully placed. We have promoted a second blue ball forward, but I will note that if it ends up being blue that wins, it will only be one circle awarded. The game will end 3-3 with the winner just getting a circle. And the plus minus doesn't matter anyway because this is a semi-final matchup. One minute's been called. "30 seconds has been called. Wonderful attempt, but to no avail. Two blue, but it doesn't matter. Andrea wins the semi-final, and she'll go on to the final, which will be basically right now. because we've only got one final game left. That is the end of this round, and I will take like a 20-second break, and we'll come back with our final round of the day and bring our next athletes up. Stay with us.